All right. Today I want to make a video. I want to make this video about, as I head to the gym, I want to make this video about, about life, about what's happening around the world. And yes. So currently, if you guys haven't heard, there is, I think, 13 scientists that have gone missing or are dead. And, that is in no chance a coincidence. That is something that was deliberately done. That was something that, was consciously done. It wasn't chance. This was done with intent, and those scientists, those people, they studied, anti-gravity. They talked about, UFOs and this and that, and, shed light on, sensitive topics that, maybe the higher ups, maybe our government doesn't want us, the people, to, know, right? And so those scientists were silenced, and it was done, in public, bro, like, cause those were scientists that had they were out in the public and were on YouTube. There was a guy on YouTube that died. So it's not like they weren't people. It's not like they were people that didn't stick their head out. No, they were people that stuck their head out and talked about this publicly. And they're missing now, bro. And that is something that a lot of people should talk about and should be concerned about, bro, because this is they were killed. They were silenced to hide something, bro. They were shedding light on something sensitive that certain group of people didn't like, didn't want us to know about it, right? And bro, like, this is all done, publicly, bro. This isn't, and then plus with the Epstein files, there's a lot of, light that's being shed on, the darkness of the world, because there is darkness in this world. There is darkness, but at the same time, there's also, good in this world. There's dark, but there's good as well, so there is light being shed on the dark side of our world, the dark side of the human race, that, wasn't, as public before, and now it's gone mainstream, and, they're trying to silence that, and, and the people of the world really, have to ask themselves, why is this stuff being, hidden from us? Why are they trying to hide this stuff from us, this knowledge from us? And there's a lot of things, there's a lot of like theories, I guess you could say. There's a lot of opinions on why that is, and why that is, like, we're being like kept in the dark about certain stuff. And there's plenty of theories, right? And bro, like, most of them are dark, it's dark stuff, right? Like, bro, there's a pedophile ring. Our government is being run by pedophiles, by molesters. It's being run by terrible people, and we're letting these people control our lives and control what we do and how we act and things of that nature, right? And bro, that's like we're letting pedophiles control our lives, bro. Like, is that not crazy? But there's this other thing, like, what can we do, right? what can I do? I have no power. You know, the people of power, they've been bribed already to be quiet and to, you know, and just to be quiet about all this stuff. They're being told to be quiet. They're being bought off. You know, we're humans, bro. You know, money is it's a necessity. And, you know, as humans, I feel like we obsess with money, and that obsession leads us to, you know, do terrible things and terrible acts, you know. So there's a lot of, you know, light being shed on the dark side of our race and of our world, man. A lot of evil stuff, a lot of evil is going on in this day and age, and has been going on for, you know, however long they say we may be in this world. You know, dark, you know, bad things have always happened, as well as good things. You know, it's a yin and yang thing, right? You know, but man, like, and here we are, continuing to go on about our day, you know, in ignorance. And or like people in general, bro, I feel like people don't care enough, bro. Like, people don't care enough to change it. Like, there's this thing like, all right, bro, all right, there's pedophiles running the government, but hey, rent's still due by the end of the month, right? You know, I got a car payment due at the end of the month. I gotta pay for food. I gotta pay for my kids' food. I gotta, you know, the bills still have to get paid, bro. So it's like, people, you know, are too busy occupied with their lives that they, you know, it's not like they don't care, but they're just, you know, they got their hands full on their own things that, you know, they can't do anything about it. We can't do anything about it, right? And so, yeah, man. And the people that do have the power, the people that do have the time to, you know, change things, they're being silenced. They're being either bought off or, you know, they're being killed. So this stuff is crazy what we're living through. You know, it's crazy, bro. It is wild. You know, the trends of today, like, bro, vanity is being glorified, like, bro, and I'm falling victim to this myself, bro. Like, vanity is glorified, bro. You know, if you look ugly, you get treated poorly. If you look good, you get treated differently. You get put on a pedestal, right? So it's like, there's a lot of things wrong in this world in this day and age, you know. You know, AI, you know, we're being dumbed down, you know. We're being, you know, they want us to be stupid, as in, and they I mean, you know, they want slaves instead of thinkers, right? They want, you know, cattle, you know. They want cattle. You know, if the citizens of the United States, you know, decided, you know, enough is enough, and as a whole, you know, decided to, okay, let's do something, let's revolt, let's do this, let's not do this now. You know, if we all decided at the same time it's been enough, like, who can stop us? You know, no one. Like, we are the ones giving them power, you know. You know, we're giving them our energy, right? You know, they fear monger us, you know, with headlines, war this, war that, you know. But at the end of the day, bro, their plan has worked, you know, perfectly. You know, we're all cattle. You know, we're not gonna do nothing about it. You know, they have all the power, and that's a fact, bro. we're too, as a whole, we're too worried about looking too pretty. We're worried about, you know, looking pretty. That's what we're mostly worried about. We're not worried about, you know, genocide that's going on, you know, war that's been going on, the countless people that, you know, have lost their lives, you know, to, you know, injustice and this and that. Nah, bro. We, people around the world are too busy, you know, with looks maxing, bro. Too busy with looks maxing, with, you know, retardedness, my dog. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, there are people dying and around the world, not, you know, around the world, there are people dying, and, you know, this new generation, my generation and younger generation, bro, they're worried about looks maxing, my guy. They're worried about, you know, looking pretty, bro. Like, they're too worried about looking pretty that they overlook, you know, world crisis, world, you know, they turn a blind eye to, you know, problems that are going on currently in this world, bro. People are too worried about looking pretty, bro. Men in particular, bro. Men in particular. Like, bro, worried about looking pretty, bro. Like, that's what we're on, bro. That's what we're on, bro. You know, we're worried about looking pretty. You know, fuck everything that's going on, bro. If I look pretty, nigga, bro, whatever happens in the world, fuck it. You know, people are too selfish this day and age, bro. They're too selfish. They're too worried about themselves and how they look and how they're perceived, that they do not care about, you know, problems that are going on currently in this world. And man, like, this is a sad day and age, bro. People need Christ in their lives. I need Christ in my life. I need Jesus Christ in my life. I need to involve him in every single thing I do. I need his protection daily. I need his protection on a daily from evil, from negative things, from things of this world. I need his protection. As do everybody. Everybody needs him, bro. Everybody needs him, but including myself, I leave him out of my life. I, you know, don't build a relationship with him. And I've been worried about it too, bro. I you know, and I'm not, you know, saying, oh, I'm better than, no, bro. I'm worried about looking pretty as well too. You know, I worried about it enough that I made it a priority in my life. You know, that was my number one thing, to look pretty. When the number one thing that I needed to do was to involve God in my life, Jesus Christ in my life, invite him into my life, and involve him in my life on a daily. You know, that should have been my number one priority. And it should be right now as I speak. You know, beauty fades, bro. Beauty fades. You can't be beautiful forever, bro. You know, as humans, we age. We get older. We look different, bro. That's a beautiful thing, bro. Being able to grow old. Some people don't get the luxury to grow old, bro. Some people die at 10 years old in a war. Some people get bombed. You know, in their homes, in their apartments, they get bombed, bro. Whole building falls down. They're dead. Whole family dead. Orphans, bro. And if they don't die, now they're orphans. Little kids are orphans. Or a guy ends up with no family, or a husband, or a wife ends up a widow. Like, bro, I need to, you know, revolve my life around, you know, Jesus Christ and my relationship with him. I need to involve him in every single thing I do. You know, not just when it's convenient for me, bro. Not just when I'm down, but when I'm also up. When I'm also in a good spot in life, I need to involve him still, bro. Like, I feel like for me personally, I only involve Jesus Christ whenever I'm in a low point in my life. I start praying. I do this and that. And whenever I'm in a good spot in life, I just completely disappear and I completely forget about him, right? And that is one of my flaws. And I'm ashamed about it too, bro. Like, that is nothing to brag about. You know, I'm talking about me personally right now. I am too focused on worldly things, bro. Like, one of the main things I'm worried about is my hairline receding, bro. My hairline is receding. It's going back. My hairline's going back. You know, I'm thinning around the edges. You know, and that's something that's, you know, stressed me out and caused me anxiety and stress. You know, because I like to look good as well. Like, I like to look good. And, you know, sad thing is, you know, women these days, they don't want a bald man. I hate to break it to you, but they don't want a bald man. They want a guy with, you know, a good set of hair on him, a good body. They care about vanity, bro. And that's a sad thing about it, right? You know, I don't know if a wife is in my future, to be honest. I don't know if I'm gonna be in a relationship. I don't know if I'm gonna get married even, bro. Like, I want to have a beautiful wife, beautiful kids, and a loving family, bro. I want to be able to celebrate Christmas with my family. And right now, that's up in the air. You know, that's something that's up in the air. You know, I don't like to talk about women, right? But, you know, women these days are promiscuous. You know, you can blame it on social media, you can blame it on female nature, but the truth is, you know, girls these days are too promiscuous. They've been brainwashed, or maybe they've always been brainwashed, you know. So right now, I guess I'm just enjoying life, trying to, you know, better my life all around in every aspect. You know, my number one priority should be, and I'm gonna try to make, I don't want to talk about, my number one priority is building a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's my priority, and I'm gonna try to make it a priority, bro. Because this is not I don't promise this at all, bro. Because I'm a human, bro. I just like my human nature, bro. I don't know, man. Life is pretty mundane, to say the least. But I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to have my parents. I'm thankful, bro, because some people don't have their parents. And I do, so yeah, I'm thankful about that. Yeah, I'm grateful, man. I'm about to go into this gym and, you know, try to do a good workout. Try to work out to the best of my abilities, you know. I feel like almost for me, bro, now it's like life is starting to feel pointless, bro. Like life is starting to feel pointless, to say the least. You know, so yeah, man. This video has been all over the place. I talked about everything, really. I talked about a lot of different, you know, topics. You know, so I don't even feel like going to the gym, bro, to be honest, but hey, I'm gonna go. Yep. I'm gonna go. And yeah, man, who knows what's gonna happen to this world? Who knows what's gonna happen when I'm 40? If I even get the privilege to live till 40, who knows what life will be like? Oh boy. That's how I'm feeling right now. Oh boy. That is how I'm feeling. To be honest, I might not even go to the gym, bro. I don't even feel like it, bro, to be honest. Today I might just rest. Yeah, so to end this video, I want to end it with a Bible verse that I think you guys should, check out and, acknowledge and read every single day before you go to work, before you start your day, and after you and before you end your day. So that scripture is Psalm 91. I don't know why, but Psalm 91. If you guys have made it this far to this video, if anyone has made it this far to the video, bro, it's truly a sign, Psalm 91, bro. Take it as a sign. Psalm 91. Read it, live it, believe in it, and yeah, build that relationship with Jesus Christ, man. It's never too late. So yeah, have a great day. Have a great weekend. It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, so a lot of people have 2 days off, as I do. So have a great weekend, and I hope you guys, stay prayed up, man, and stay safe. Yeah, later.